Brock is the first gym leader you encounter in the Generation 1 games, boasting an incredible 2 Pokemon that can be a very easy or extremely hard gym battle depending on your starter choice. But what if Brock wanted to become the champion of the Kanto region, using what I consider one of his strongest teams in Pokemon Leaf Green, consisting of a Onix, a Golem, Rhydon, a Aerodactyl, a Kabutops, and finally a powerful Tyranitar, giving him a solid rock-type team with a few oddballs like fossil Pokemon. Would he be able to become champion? While we're making our way through the Indigo Plateau to arrive at the Elite Four ready for this challenge, let me explain the rules. Now I know what you're thinking, I could just have a full team of level 100 Pokemon and easily win. That's where the rules come in. We can't level past the Elite Four or the Champion's Ace, and no items in battle or held items allowed. We've also got to play it like a gym leader, meaning no switching, as gym leaders really don't switch that often. So with the brief rules out of the way, let's see if Brock can become the champion. So first up of the Elite Four is Lorelei. She's an ice type specialist, and honestly with us having rock types, it's a pretty even matchup. We do super well into her, but she does really good into us too. Let's see how our first Elite Four battle goes. Her lead is Dugong, and our lead for this challenge is Onix, as it seems like a fitting lead. We outspeed Dugong turn 1 and hit a rock slide for fantastic damage before a single ice beam just straight up knocks us out. Onix is just a super frail Pokemon. My next switching, I decide to go into Kabutops. Being naturally fast, we throw rocks at Dugong and pick up our first KO of the run. Second, Lorelei sends out Piloswine. It's quite bulky, but it's weak to water type attacks, as the waterfall from Kabutops does massive damage before Piloswine hits a super effective Earthquake back into us for way over half. Piloswine is now in full restore range, so Lorelei burns one here as we just hit another super effective waterfall. A final waterfall attack, and that's 2 of her Pokemon down. Third, Lorelei then chooses Lapras, her ace. All I can do is throw rocks at it with Ancient Power for fantastic damage too, before Lapras goes for a Thunder that it connects, and it's definitely enough to take down our fossil Pokemon. My best switching now is Aerodactyl, as it will outspeed Lapras, and I can't afford to take another attack off this thing. I go for a Steel Wing and we don't take it out. Wow. Before an Ice Beam brings Aerodactyl super low. Lorelei doesn't heal Lapras, so we take it out with a Rock Slide the next turn. This brings out Cloyster. A Rock Slide from Aerodactyl brings Cloyster to around 25% as an Ice Beam finishes off our prehistoric bird. I now go into Golem, who is outsped and then taken out with just a single Surf. That's not good. I then send out Rhydon, who has Thunder Punch, and a Surf just obliterates Rhydon too. This is bad. We're down to our last Pokemon already, Tyranitar. We whip up a Sandstorm on the switch in, and this now puts Cloyster in full restore range as our Rock Slide then brings him back to where he was. We luckily outspeed Cloyster and take him down the next turn. This leaves her last Pokemon, Jinx, who comes out and puts us immediately to sleep with a lovely kiss. This is looking bleak. We tank an Ice Beam, and then we get lucky by waking up turn 1, and we take Jinx down with a single Rock Slide thanks to its really bad bulk. This means we defeat our first Elite Four member, but that was pretty close. Honestly, Tyranitar waking up so early saved this first attempt. Let's move on to our second Elite Four member. The second Elite Four member in our way to champion glory is Bruno. He's a fighting type expert with 2 Steelixes. I don't know why, but that's what he's got. Fighting types do destroy us, but Aerodactyl plus Fly could equal a pretty easy time, let's face him. Bruno's lead is our evolution, Steelix, and well, it's obviously a very bad matchup for Onix. However, we just Earthquake, which Steelix is weak to, and he takes a hefty chunk of damage from our lead Pokemon, as Steelix just misses a Rock Tomb. We hit another Earthquake to bring him close to death as he connects a Rock Tomb for nothing, lowering our speed. A final Earthquake, and Onix actually gets to take down a Steelix, I'll take that. Second out is Hitmonchan. He goes for a Sky Uppercut to put Onix in the yellow as our Rock Slide does practically nothing. Then we just die to a priority Mach Punch. Now is the time to unleash Aerodactyl. We fly high up in the sky as he misses his Rock Slide, then we proceed to take Hitmonchan down with a Fly. Bruno's third choice is Hitmonlee, but it's the same scenario. We fly up in the sky to dodge an attack, then we drop on his head to take him down. This brings out Machamp. We just repeat the same moves, this time putting Machamp on a sliver of HP as he misses a Cross Chop. Bruno then full restores, so we just bring him back to the red with a Fly attack, and then Machamp misses another Cross Chop. Aerodactyl is just so lucky right now. I go for a Rock Slide, not expecting yet another heal, but Bruno does in fact go for a heal, as we still do a decent amount of damage. This damage is enough to guarantee us a kill on the next Fly attack, so that's what we do. And now we're on to his last Pokemon already, Steelix. I can only Rock Slide it for practically nothing, but we do snag a flinch, allowing us to get off a little bit more chip damage the next turn, as an Iron Tail brings us to the red. We then miss a Rock Slide, and we die to a Crunch from Steelix. Now I can let Golem get some time in the spotlight. We hit an Earthquake, bringing Steelix low as his Iron Tail does a fantastic amount of damage yet again, but a final Earthquake from our Golem, and we take down the fighting type Elite Four in an easier battle than the first one. With that, only 2 more trainers remain in the Elite Four. Let's continue. The third third member we need to face is Agatha, the ghost type specialist, who has some poison types on her team too. Now Arbok could be an issue with Giga Drain, in fact it most probably is, but Agatha's lead is Gengar as we lead Onyx, and we take a sidekick to under half immediately as we reply with a Rock Slide for a quarter. The next turn Onyx just falls to Gengar. Now I go into Aerodactyl and we bite Gengar to finish it off with a critical hit. This brings out Mischievous. We bite it again but we don't do anywhere near half as the Thunderbolt brings us under half. We bite once more and she misses an attack luckily. We bite again, bringing her to a Sliver as a Thunderbolt puts us on 3 HP, but she gets a Paralyzed too. Agatha heals up Mischievous as we just keep on biting, but then we fall to a Shadow Ball as we're paralyzed and Mischievous is faster. I send in Rhydon next, and honestly this wasn't my best play. Rhydon's moveset is pretty weak against Mischievous. The only thing we can do is Thunder Punch, and Mischievous' sidekick critical hits us for half. And in this gen, Thunder Punch is special, so it's not doing much damage at all, but we do get a Paralyze. I then misplay and go for a Dig, forgetting it has a Levitate as he brings us lower. We keep punching him, but eventually Mischievous actually takes down Rhydon too. This little ghost is putting in some serious work. I now go into Kabutops to get the revenge kill with a Waterfall, but this brings out the threat I was worried about, Arbok, who intimidates us, lowering our attack. Our Waterfall then does a quarter and he goes for a double team, raising the evasion. We Waterfall again before a 4-time super effective Giga Drain does half to us. We can only really Waterfall this thing, but another Giga Drain puts us on the edge of our health. We then miss a Waterfall thanks to the evasion boost, and then we die to a Sludge Bomb. I send out Golem next and we get Giga Drained instantly again, but we get critical hit too, putting us on only 9 HP and Arbok back to full. That's bad, but our Earthquake is just too powerful for Arbok and we take him out in one attack. This brings out Crobat, who instantly kills us with a Sludge Bomb, leaving us once again with a Tyranitar left. Crobat goes for a Confuse Ray, which is awful, and then we hit a Rock Slide to take down the bat, and that could have been really bad too. This leaves us versus her Ace Gengar. He hits a Thunderbolt and we take it rather decently, but then we hit ourselves in Confusion, putting us at close to half. We take another Thunderbolt and we definitely won't be able to survive one more, but thankfully Tyranitar pulls through for us, breaks through Confusion and delivers a devastating crunch to put Gengar on a low amount of HP. But we have Sandstorm up and that takes him down, beating Agatha but only by a sliver. The levels are ramping up, and next up is a scary one who I think we're going to die on. The last Elite Four member in our way is Lance. He's a flying type or a dragon type specialist, you can choose. He has 2 powerful Dragonites and a Gyarados. This is going to be rough. So his lead is Gyarados and we lead off with Onyx. We get intimidated instantly, lowering our attack as our Rock Slide does a quarter to him, and he starts to go for the move Dragon Dance, raising his attack and speed. That's bad. He Dragon Dances again as we miss our Rock Slide, even worse. Then at a +2 attack, he's got Earthquake too, which demolishes us. This is bad. Here is where I misplay. Instead of going to Aerodactyl, I go into Kabutops. He can't live a +2 Earthquake and goes down. I then go into Tyranitar, and while he has the and can survive an Earthquake, he's severely crippled, left on 34 HP. However, his Rock Slide is enough to take down Gyarados, but that's just his first Pokemon. His second is a level 66 Dragonite, who also knows Earthquake, and that's Tyranitar down too. I go into Rhydon, who barely takes an Earthquake much better, and Horn Attack is doing quite frankly nothing. Dragonite brings us to the red as our Horn Attack brings him to the red too. This means Lance will burn full restores as I go for a Dynamic Punch which we connect, and we get the Confusion thanks to it being a 100% chance. We're slowly trying to salvage this fight. Dragonite hits himself, so we get off some more damage with Horn Attacks and Confusion before we fall eventually. Now we send out Aerodactyl. We go for a Rock Slide to take him down, and out next he sends his level 72 Dragonite, his ace Pokemon, and we are so underleveled right now. Our Rock Slide brings him right down to a Sliver before a Thunderbolt does half to us. Then he gets a Paralyze, completely ruining any chance we had at a comeback. This means he outspeeds us and takes down Aerodactyl, leaving us with just a Golem left. This Dragonite knows Ice Beam and uses that to do over half to us before we take him down with a Rock Slide. And he still has a Kingdra left as well, who takes down Golem with a Surf, giving us our first wipe at a run. I played Gyarados super badly there. I'm sure on our next attempt at Lance, if I make better swaps, we can take him down. Attempt 2 on Lance, and I brought my Pokemon up to a healthy level now at 70 to 71, and this may help us. However, we didn't even make it past his Kingdra last try, so let's give it another shot. So it's the same leads, but this time we miss our turn 1 Rock Slide and he Dragon Dances. He then doesn't set up again and attacks us with an Earthquake, which we survive and then hit a Rock Slide to do good damage. But Onyx falls the next turn to an Earthquake. I now go straight into Aerodactyl to neutralise a massive earthquake threat, and we luckily still outspeed him and take him down with a Rock Slide, already giving us a better start. Then comes his ace, the level 72 Dragonite. We deliver a Rock Slide for massive damage and we take a Thunderbolt again. This time we don't get paralysed, but it still does half to us. So another Rock Slide and we take his first Dragonite down. Then comes in Kingdra. I fly in the sky and dodge a Surf, and then we hit a Fly for half of his HP before a single Surf takes us down. I go into my own Water Rock type Kabutops and slash to bring him to the red as he Dragon Dances. Lands 4 restores, so we slash again. Then Kingdra hits a Surf for close to half before we hit a critical hit slash to put him on 1 HP. Kingdra surfs again, bringing us to 69 HP. Nice. And we take him down with a slash. Out comes his Aerodactyl to instantly take down Kabutops with an Earthquake, so I go into Rhydon. We get Earthquaked again, but tank it decently and hit a Thunder Punch for only a quarter thanks to our low special. We take another Earthquake and we just keep on Thunder Punching. But Aerodactyl is just way too strong for Rhydon and he falls. I now swap into Golem, who tanks a ground move and takes down Aerodactyl with a Rock Slide. Then comes his last Pokemon, Dragonite, whose ground move brings Golem low, but our fantastic attack stat and a super effective Rock Slide means we beat Lance and we can move on to the final trainer for this run. The champion Blue, whose team is looking very scary. He has a Tyranitar with Earthquake, a Gyarados with Earthquake, and a Heracross. This could be really rough, but I think we can beat him. Let's become the champion of Kanto. Blue's lead is a scary Heracross, and Onix is actually faster and Rock Slides him for a quarter as an Earthquake brings us to below half. We Rock Slide again, and we snag a flinch. We Rock Slide once more to bring him to the red, and we dodge a Mega Horn. Blue now goes for a full restore, and we Rock Slide once more. We just literally keep dropping rocks on the bug's head, and we get a critical hit before an Earthquake takes down Onix. But he's nearly soloed a Heracross, what a champ. We send out a Aerodactyl, and we immediately take it down. This brings out Gyarados, who intimidates us low in our attack. We Rock Slide again, bringing him low as he sets up a Dragon Dance. But Aerodactyl's still a really fast Pokemon, and we outspeed Gyarados, so we take him down too. Third out comes his own Tyranitar. Our Steel Wing doesn't do much to him as a Thunderbolt from his specially offensive Tyranitar critical hits and takes down Aerodactyl. I go into Kabutops next, and we go for a Waterfall, but it doesn't take him out, and we get hit from an Earthquake in return, bringing us low. A final Waterfall though, and we deal with another huge threat. This brings out Charizard, who's faster than us and also has Earthquake. How many Pokemon have this move this run? And that takes down Kabutops. I go into Rhydon now, and he hits Fire Blast that does a great chunk of damage as we Thunder Punch for a critical hit, and he heals with his Citrus Berry. He then misses a Fire Blast and we Thunder Punch him to the full restore range. The next few turns are just Rhydon and Charizard exchanging Fire Blasts and Thunder Punches as Rhydon manages to dodge a couple more attacks. Blue burns another full restore and Charizard starts getting restless and goes for the move Dragon Claw that we survive on 1 HP to bring him to the red too, before we eventually fall to a Dragon Claw. Now we go into Golem. We take an Earthquake close to half and we take down Charizard with a Rock Slide. This brings out Executor, which is a massive threat, and this is not good. We have Fire Punch, which does a good quarter, and we get the burn before a single Giga Drain takes us straight down, leaving us once again with just a Tyranitar. Thankfully, our powerful Jaws hits a crunch and takes him down in one bite, leaving us versus an Alakazam, which means we're practically guaranteed a win here, as he hits a pathetic Shadow Ball and a crunch brings him to a Slither. Blue keeps full restoring, but it's completely in vain as he can't hurt our Tyranitar, and Alakazam falls to a crunch attack. And with that, Brock has beaten the Kanto Elite Four and the champion, becoming champion of Kanto himself. This was a fun run to do, and it's my first time trying this sort of bite-sized content with characters. If you want me to do the next gym leader, Misty, let me know in the comments below. If you have a team you'd like me to use of hers, post it in the comments below. Any feedback on what you want me to maybe change next time, post it below. Like and subscribe, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.